Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college.
Welcome back for another episode of Talking My Ha with Grove City Hockey Podcast Productions. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, with my co-host, Colin Corbett. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, buddy. How was Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was pretty good. We got a chance to eat some turkey and have some taters and corn and those delicious rolls. The rolls are always my favorite.
Rolls are always great, especially when Grandma makes them. They're fantastic. We had a Friendsgiving this Saturday, and I'll tell you what, me and Jake, we cooked this bird. We started cooking at 9 o'clock in the morning for everybody. Man, we could not get the pink out of that bird. It came time, dinner time, we still had pink in it. I'm like, how? We've literally been doing this all day. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got it. We got it.
The bird. Eat the bird, fried up on the stove.
Pretty much. I just cut it up, got those juices, threw it back in the oven a little higher, and we got it.
There you go.
We got it.
There you go.
But anyways, all right.
So we're gonna talk Chicago, Salt Creek event. Event number 1, right? I believe that's what it was.
Event number 1, yep.
Yeah.
I hope so. We're pretty early in the year for it not to be event number 1.
That's true. Conway and Banks, huh? Check out their hockey bag. They're not joking when they say it's one of the best hockey bags on the market.
No, absolutely not. This episode is brought to you by our new partnership with Conway and Banks. And when you want to check out these bags and you're looking to buy one for yourself, because I promise you, when you look at this bag and look at this product and see how amazing the organization and everything is that comes along with it, you're going to want to buy one. You're going to want to use our promo code in all caps, Grove City Hockey. Guys, it really is a fantastic bag. Like, we got to try one. We got to put one together with the dividers, the vents, the materials, like I've already mentioned. Top of the line, they thought of everything, and there's a place for everything. And with the vents, everything gets aired out, and you kind of finally something to battle that horrible hockey smell.
Yep. And not only that, each part of your equipment has a place, so you won't lose it. You won't be leaving it back at the rink. It's great for those young kids that are just learning to, take on that responsibility of keeping all of their equipment together. And it's great for those guys that, tend to be like, where's my stuff? Like, now I can just look right in my bag and there it is.
Yep. And like we said, guys, make sure to go check out this product, go to their website, and use our promo code for 10% off in all caps, Grove City Hockey. You will not be disappointed. The holiday seasons are coming, and I'm hoping I'm getting one. I really am.
Me too. I hope I get one for Christmas as well.
But again, guys, check out Conway and Banks. You're not going to be disappointed.
So our teams that took place today or in this event we had some T4 teams. We had the Chicago Triple P, the Windy City Syndicate Black, Windy City Pigeons, Chi-Town Shamrocks, the Chicago Mary Pats, the Windy City Syndicate again, because we had the Windy City Syndicate Black, the Cincinnati Roller Dactyls, Iowa Leaf Rays, and Indy Inline. So let's just start out with those those teams right there. You had the Chicago Triple P going 2-0 on Saturday, along with Windy City Syndicate Black, Chi-Town Shamrocks, Mary Pats, the Windy City Syndicate, an Iowa Leaf Ray, and Indian Inline, all going 1-1. Your 0-2 teams were the Cincinnati Roller Dactyls and the Windy City Pigeons. Yep. So,
which is weird to hear Roller Dactyls be 0-2, I feel. It's strange.
They must have sent like a weaker team this tournament.
Must have, because that's
or somebody, or maybe the teams just didn't travel well that weekend, But let's see how they did in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But first, let's talk about our T3 teams. So we had 5 teams for the T3 division. We had the Windy City Syndicate, the Chicago Maripats, Active Stick Hockey, Chicago Hitmen, and Indian Line. The Chicago Maripats went 0-2, followed with the with the Windy City Syndicate and uh, Active Stick Hockey, along with Indian Line. All 3 of those teams going 1-1. And then your 2-0 team was the Chicago Hitmen. So
Living up to
I
the
don't know.
name.
Those Hitmen with their pinstripes are just taking it to town.
And they're kind of dominating. It's what so.
They are, but in the semifinals, so we'll just start there with the semifinals with the T3 division since there was only 5 teams. The Chicago Hitmen had a very tough game against the 0-2 Mary Pats.
It surprised me. Mary Pat's a scrappy team.
They are, and last year they were in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So but that was a 4-3 win after the Mary Pats did an upset over the number 4 team, the Windy City Syndicate, 6-4. So on the other side of that bracket, you saw the Indian Line taking on the Active Stick Hockey, and Active Stick actually came out with the upset over the number 2 team of Indian Line. They sent them home a little bit early. So we'll talk about the Active Stick and the Chicago Hitmen in the finals here in a little bit. And here we have a Coke. We're going to just wet the whistle.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I had a Pepsi somewhere. Dang it.
Well, now you got Pepsi. I got Coke. What are we going to fight now?
Well, I like Pepsi more. I won't even lie. Okay. Well, let's real quick. Side thing. I like regular Pepsi more than regular Coke.
Oh.
But I love cherry Coke way over wild cherry Pepsi.
Oh, well, yeah, because the wild is just not enough wildness for me.
Yeah, I don't know what the wild is. It's like almost kind of a bitter thing, but like the cherry Coke, though,
it really
fantastic.
is.
Fantastic. Yeah. But anyways.
All right. Anyway, so T4B semifinals. All right, so T4 semifinals came down to the Windy City Syndicate Black taking on the Windy City Pigeons, who upset, because again, Windy City Pigeons went 0-2. It just goes to show that, hey, man, it doesn't matter what your record is on Saturday. You come to play up on Saturday or on Sunday, it's a whole different ball game.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
they upended the Cincinnati Roller Dactyls. The Roller Dactyls also went winless on that weekend.
Happens.
Yeah,
bad
happens. But they're playing in their home tournament, the Cincinnati tournament. Cincinnati tournament that we'll talk about here in a few weeks or in a couple of days. So the Pigeons beat the Cincinnati Roller Dactyls 6-3 in the quarterfinals, whereas they came out and beat the Windy City Syndicate 7-3. Then next up on the other side of the bracket brings you the Iowa Leaf Rays taking on the Chi-Town Shamrocks. Those of you don't remember, the Chi-Town Shamrocks won the tournament not too long ago, but they did not perform very well. They actually lost to the number 3 team 7-6 in a very close game. I think if I remember correctly, it was pretty close going into that third period.
Yeah, I think when I was looking over the stats
through.
Yeah. And that's a Leaf Race for you, though, because I'm telling you, they're a fun team to watch. I really like their puck possession and stuff.
Yeah.
They're so quick about it that it doesn't surprise me that you can't sleep on them. But they're always good. I haven't seen. I'm sure if I went back in the stats, I would see it. Like maybe they had a bad game or two, but I haven't actually seen a truly bad game by them yet.
No, and I think they play everybody tough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always good. When you can play any team and every team tough, you have a chance at every game.
Yeah, sure.
And even those 2 or 3 goal losses that if you suffer, the next time you play them, they're going to be a 4-goal swing going the other way, and you're coming out with a W. So that's pretty cool seeing that. So with that, we'll move on to the A semifinals, you've got the Chicago Triple P taking on the Indian Line, and that was just an annihilation, 8-2, for the Triple P of Chicago. And in the other side of that bracket, you had the Windy City Syndicate taking on the Mary Pats, and the Mary Pats just could not come over or overcome the Windy City Syndicate depth, as they lost 3-1.
Yeah.
So,
this is a close game. You know, they kept them out of it at least.
just wait until you hear the finals.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
So the T4B finals saw the Windy City Pigeons taking on the Iowa Leaf Rays, and your champions for the T4B division is the 5th seed. I repeat, that is the 5th seed, Windy City Pigeons. They dominated this game 6-1. I don't know if the Iowa Leaf Rays just had some tired legs from all that travel, or what. But you had Josh Haas helping out the Pigeons with 3 goals, 1 assist, right behind Josh Schrunch. I think that's how you say it. If not, Josh, send us a pronunciation of your last name. Otherwise, you're Schrunch to me, buddy. Even though there's no R in it, but that's how you get it with the Sean.
So I was making me eat my words real quick, huh?
Yeah. So, but I think this is the only one that was that kind of explosive game.
Well, yeah, too. You look at the game before that. You had that hard fought of a game. You might not have anything left in the tank when it comes to that.
I will say this though, Iowa did outshoot the Pigeons though. It was like 38 to 20 something or something like that. It was like almost 18 goals or 18 shots on net.
So give it to the goaltender then.
Yeah. So Josh, kudos to you, bro. So in the T4A action, we've got the Chicago Triple P taking on the Windy City Syndicate. Both come in the number 1 seeds. Yep. And at the end of the battle, it was 5-1 in favor of the Chicago Triple P, which I believe is either their second or third. Yeah, second.
I think
they won in Detroit.
They won in Detroit. Yeah. That's that defense, man. It's that defense. We talked about it before. Their defense is such a lockdown D. Their back checking is fantastic. I'm not surprised to see that they came out on top again.
They're your favorite to win the ship, aren't they?
No.
What? For the T4?
I got hometown pride in T4.
We want to make sure that we give a shout out to Chicago Triple P's Ryan Orr and Tyler. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this last name. Przuski, who did their part to secure the victory behind stellar goaltending by Mark Orr. He's got 8 wins on the season, 0 losses. Kudos to you, Mark.
He's good, man. He's good, and I really like his jersey. I wonder if he's still wearing it. He had a nice white pinstripe.
He's got to be wearing that.
If you're winning 8 straight, you're not changing anything. Like,
and you're not cleaning your jerseys either.
I wouldn't. 100% wouldn't.
No, I don't know. Have you ever played against Carl when he, back in the day? No, you never did you?
No.
Oh, that guy never washed his kits, and it was to keep you away from him.
That's kind of genius.
It was until you're shooting up next to him, and you're like, wow. But I love Carl. Love you, buddy. Nothing but love.
He's great. Well, there's a movie called On Man Rush. I thought I was going into it just being more like just like a straight up hockey movie. It's a little bit of a love story.
Ooh, but you like those romantical movies, bud.
Buddy, I'm all about the romantics.
Yeah.
But there's a line in the movie that the main character, because he kind of like breaks the fourth wall a lot and he talks to you and stuff, and he says a locker room has a smell that you can only appreciate as long as you contribute to it.
Yes, and that's so true. But first, hey, so don't go anywhere, guys. We have an interview coming up with Jaran Malafa, the Great Lakes Growlers captain, and we're going to see what he has to say about his tournament run in Detroit, along with some other fun interesting stories.
That was a blast. That was a blast. 'Cause that was the first interview me and you've done together.
Yeah, I know, and I can't wait to do more.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely line up some more. But yeah, no, it was a good time. It was a great time to talk to him. I don't think I really got to talk. I haven't got to talk to him too much. I really got to. So it was nice to actually get to sit down. That's one of my favorite things about doing these interviews. Is you get to sit down and talk with people.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a couple more that I want to do. Sorry, there's a couple more that I want to do a couple interviews with.
Yeah, we'll get it done, buddy. We'll get it done. But yeah, let's we'll do a commercial break and we'll come back right with that interview though.
All right, thanks.
Hey guys, you know what time it is. Back to school and back to hockey. Visit Epic Hockey online to check out the newest and greatest in the hockey industry. They've got custom sticks, custom gloves, and oh yeah, they're all at a great price. Make sure you visit them on their social media and their website to find out all about this new cutting-edge company. Visit them at epichockey.com. Epic Hockey, a proud sponsor of Grove City Hockey.
Welcome. We are live here with Grove City Hockey Podcast. We are talking with Jaran Malafa. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, going good, man. How's it going?
It's going, man.
It's
Colin?
ready to end the week.
Ready to end the week.
Yeah.
Just over it already.
Yeah.
Been
Yeah,
long.
you know. Yeah, for sure.
So, hey, so Jaran, I first met you, like, what year was that? 2011, 2012, something like that? That's been a long time.
No, dude, I think it was before that. I think it had to have been like 2009 back in like the old MLRH days with the Rebels or something.
Well, I played. Yeah, it was Thunder.
Yeah,
I was
Thunder. That's right.
In 2010.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
with them. Yep.
up there at the Cedar Rock Sportsplex, right?
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
I remember that. Yeah.
So we're all old here. We're all old. Got it. Got it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I keep having to date myself here with events.
It happens all the time. Unfortunately, I've noticed. The more I go out and I go places, I'll be talking to some friends. I'm like, I haven't been here for, oh my God, it's been 12 years. Like, I can say that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shoot, those years at college, you know, and then you come back to everything after you get done, and it's like, holy crap, things change like a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure.
Just wait.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just wait. Yeah.
You get married, you have kids, you get a house.
Yeah.
Whole new world.
And no money after all of it. Too.
Yes, yeah, right. Yeah, that never changed.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Ben and I go back a long way. Yeah, back to the Cedar Rock days, which the building is still there, but it's ice hockey now, unfortunately. Yeah. But yep, it is what it is. Yeah.
It was a very, very nice facility, though, I will say that.
It was. At the time, I would argue it was probably the nicest and most premier roller hockey facility in all of Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure on the west side. For sure on the west side.
Yeah, because it was one of those deals where it was just like a dedicated roller hockey rink. So, you know, they didn't have to worry about sharing floor time with any other event or anything. So
right. Yeah, because I know when they throw the sport court over the top of that AstroTurf, it's not very fun. Like,
no. I mean, even if you throw the plywood down, it's still just a totally different experience.
Yeah, I remember my first time playing at Cedar Rock. They had the Buffalo Wings were playing Michigan Thunder, and this the Buffalo Wings goaltender made a save behind the back and just like caught just glove, and it was like I was just like hooked. I'm like, I'm supposed to play against this guy.
Yes.
So that's funny because that was my senior year, I think, in high school when I joined the Thunder and played for a couple of games, I think. But yeah, same feeling, man. I just jump into that league and I go, holy crap, this is the kind of stuff I'm going up against.
Yep.
Yeah. To puts conditioning in a whole different perspective.
For sure.
So let's kind of start before you met Ben and everything. Then, so was it kind of like a typical story then? Hockey was always kind of your main sport, or
I kind of have quite a different background than a lot of other people do in roller hockey. I never played ice hockey growing up. I mean, I ice skated, local rink or whatever, but I didn't actually start playing organized hockey until I was 9 years old at the Laser Skate Sportsplex, which was the building located in front of Cedar Rock Sportsplex. And that was like an epoxy floor, super small rink, but that was, organized roller hockey we had at the time, because it was just like one of those, local skating rinks, disco things, whatever. But yeah, that was my first experience of playing organized hockey, but it was roller hockey. And ever since then, I had played organized roller hockey growing up. And then a few years after that, they built the Cedar Rock Sportsplex behind that, going through the youth leagues and high school leagues all throughout there. And eventually, led me to bigger things.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that's happened to all of us, huh?
I obviously through high school, I dabbled a little bit in ice hockey. I knew I couldn't skate and keep up with all the other kids as far as, stride and technique goes. So I, tried my hand at a little bit at goalie and didn't really work out. No big deal. I wasn't going to try to go for something that I knew I wasn't going to excel in anyway. Yeah. So I just stuck with roller hockey, and there was somewhat of a, thing to pursue with college roller hockey at the time too.
Yeah.
And when I went to Western, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I kind of actually started out on ice, and then I was just a straight defenseman and everything, and then I started playing a lot more, roller inline during the summer months and stuff, and then I was like, I like this way more. I love the speed and everything. I just enjoyed inline so much more.
And that's usually, the typical background story of anybody who gets really good into roller hockey is they played ice hockey growing up, and then during the summer months they played roller, and then realized, hey, actually this is a lot more fun, or I get a lot more rink time and all that kind of stuff. So, but I think part of the reason why I had a different kind of path was my parents really helped facilitate that Cedar Rock Sportsplex and stuff. So it was really part of, our lives and getting all that stuff going and being really involved with it. So I know my dad talks about how when I was really young, he wanted to help, invest in an ice hockey rink. So I'm wondering if my path would have been a little different in the earlier years if how that would have went. But no, it was great. Loved every minute of it and appreciated everything my parents did for me and the building and the organizations they helped run, which I think in part really ingrained into me how I grew and, it went on and helped restart programs and run teams and all that kind of stuff.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your time at Western, because you kind of took over their program there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I did. So it was kind of a tricky one because that's really when college roller hockey was, hitting that high point. And I think a lot of people, got to consider is when roller hockey really started to catch on was that 2008 recession time period. People didn't have as much money or as much disposable income. So they're trying to find different avenues. So roller hockey was really starting to take off as the alternate to ice hockey. I graduated in high school in 2009, went to Western. They had already roller hockey programs, collegiate roller hockey programs were already kind of being established. Western Michigan was one of them. They had a D1 team and a B team at the time. I think even a few years before that, they had 2 B teams. So they were flooded with roller hockey players back then. But
and then they also had a couple guys that would play on their ice hockey team that weren't playing on like the varsities. That would play on the roller hockey team.
Right. And that was that was in the early days of collegiate roller hockey when they kind of allowed some of that stuff just to get numbers up.
Yeah, because I remember Ross Henry and PJ Calvia playing with us.
Ross Henry played with us for I think maybe the first half of the season. At my second year at Western, but so no, when I was a freshman at Western, the team that I went into, or at least the organization I went into, there was a bunch of guys that were still, left over from all the other teams that kind of near regular turnover, whatever. A couple of guys keeping it organized and whatnot. They graduate and move on. The guys that were running it at the time, numbers were low. They were like struggling to keep up, and they were still stuck in the D1 level, like competition, trying to play against Michigan State and, just getting their butts kicked every freaking game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, because MSU came off a couple national championships right back to back.
Yep.
It's like Lindenwood there for a minute.
Yep. And that was the same year that Grand Valley had won D2 nationals and then moved up. So Western, they're kind of struggling with numbers and stuff. And my freshman year, I came in with maybe one other new guy on that team. Oh, wow. And at like the second half, we were getting blown out every game, and the second half of the season started, and we went to our first tournament. 3 guys showed up in our goalie. Oh. And we're sitting there at the rink going like, what the heck are we going to do here? And we talked with the Jeff Nolan, who's still currently the MCRHL director, and decided that we were going to fold the team at that point for the rest of the season. It was, probably the best thing to do going forward, that we didn't have to lock ourselves into anything for the rest of the season. So kind of shut it down at that point. Again, I was a freshman coming into all this, like, I just want to play roller hockey, man. Right. I don't care. I don't care if we're getting our butts kicked. But so in the off season, I worked with Jeff, in the MCRHL, and a couple other people that had helped me out, just kind of restarting things. I took over everything because I really had nothing to go off of at the time. So just restarted things, redid all the paperwork, all the great admin stuff that nobody likes to do. I just dug in and did it all, got it all done. And basically restarted the program from the ground up, and got in good standing with the school, because that's one of the biggest things that people didn't realize. It takes a lot of work, is being in good standing with actually the university and the club organizations. It's one of the mandatory things that the leagues look at. So having all of that paperwork and organization in line was really important. Got a lot of help from Amy Seth at Western Michigan. She was the director of club sports at the time, so she was a great resource. But yeah, got the team restarted in 2010, 2011. We dropped down to D2 because obviously the new players we brought in weren't D1 level, which was fine. I'm nowhere near a D1 level player myself, but as much as I like to think sometimes. But so yeah, we restarted the program. By year 2, we had added a second team. And over the next 3 to 4 years, we kept it rolling and having 2 teams going, D2. And by the time I moved on, so I played my eligibility out my 5 years. I handed the team over to some of the other current guys as much as I could, let them roll with it. I stayed along with the team kind of as an advisor coach role up until I graduated. Coached maybe for another year or 2, and then really just kind of pushed the team over into those guys' hands as I started a family. So, and ever since then, they had done a pretty good job. They moved up to D1. They became a lot more competitive. This last year, the last couple of years with COVID, really wreaking havoc on everything, dwindling numbers. They didn't come back for the last year, which was, disappointing, but that's college roller hockey across the board right now. So not surprising.
So then, so what happened after your days with Western? Where did you end up going there?
So that's when I always kind of had my toes in the water with Miha through college. There's an open tournament here or there. I'll jump in.
Yeah, because I remember trying to get you to play with us for, every now and then, whenever you had the availability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because at around 2012 or so, Cedar Rock switched from roller hockey to ice hockey after my parents kind of moved out of the organizations and stuff. And the only other roller hockey rink in Grand Rapids was Rivertown Sports, so I was playing a lot there. And I know that a couple of my first tournaments in Miha, I had played for the St. Louis team for one tournament. I ended up playing for the Giraffes for one tournament, which that was the tournament where I pulled off my couple Michigan moves during that skills competition.
Oh, you were that guy.
That's on YouTube. Yep.
You're that guy.
I made sure to go in there and timestamp that video in the comments too. That was what was that, like 2013 or something? That was a long time ago.
So
because I was out of the country in 2012, and then I came back like the tail end of that MyHouse season,
right?
And then kind of finished it up with the Giraffes, where I played like one or two games when I came back, and then after that it was like we just set up the Great Lakes Assassins, and then you took part in that as well.
Yep. So that's when I kind of linked up for a season with the Assassins, or a few games actually, I think. And I got in touch with Ryan Peters. He was part of the Assassins, and
he came in just as I was like, that was my swan song season.
Yep.
We did one season before that, and then just, like in our second season, I was done. Like I had to have the back surgery. Right. That was 2015. I could hardly walk. It was pretty bad.
So Great Lake Assassins, is that where the Growlers came from?
Yeah, so we kind of broke off from the Assassins and then rebranded, relogoed, all that stuff. We came up with new jerseys and all that good stuff. We
should have kept the pinstripes though.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta say, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not usually a fan of like the brown jerseys and stuff, but man, those threads you guys were rocking Detroit 1 there were looking pretty snazzy.
We picked those colors mainly because I kind of got a little bias. I wanted the brown and gold Western colors, obviously.
Makes sense. I got it.
The thing I think was really the kicker with that though was the beer foam, the amber.
Yeah.
The amber beer. Yeah. That's what we were going for, is kind of that little that accent with the jerseys. So no, we had one of our guys come up with some good artwork for it, and I love those jerseys, man. I love the colors too.
They look good. They look good out there.
They're great. Yes, they do.
Especially when you guys are going to have tournaments like you guys just had this last couple weekends ago. Geez, you can wear whatever color you want then.
Oh man, that's a story in itself. So last year we had a decent team. The year before, even better. Like I had tagged along a bunch of my Western guys playing for us in years past, and they moved on. They reformed their own team, the Desperados.
Okay.
All of those guys were all of my former Western guys that I coached, basically.
And those kids are solid, because I loved calling their games, man. I was just
Good job there, coach. Good job there, coach.
Yeah. I'll take responsibility for that. Yeah, for sure.
I hope they see this now.
Yeah, right. Oh, they know. They still call me coach whenever I'm playing against them. So I'll take credit. Awesome. So after they went and formed their own team, we picked up A couple of guys last year. Dylan Patnout was one of the guys we picked up for last year, and he played with us all year last year. Really was a huge help to our team. We kind of struggled a bit last year, I think, mainly because we had an issue with goalie retention. Our main goalie, Eric Goudreau, he wasn't able to make it for like 2 or 3 of the tournaments, and we had to, have fill-ins. Carter Patnow, though, was able to step in and help out. But we were taking 5-6 guys to each tournament. Just you can't play that level of competitive roller hockey with 5 or 6 guys. It's just
it's really tough to be able to pull that off.
Right.
Exactly. So last year was a struggle, and the biggest thing I wanted this year was to make sure we had more than enough numbers to compete every single tournament. So rolling into the first tournament this year, 4 guys were able to make it. So I'm just like, but they're committed to all the other tournaments throughout the year. Even though we had a selection and all that stuff, no. A couple things came up. There's nothing you can do about it. But
right.
Eric Goudreau moved up to T2, so we couldn't use him. Carter was already playing for 2 different teams. We went and picked up Keith Chapman, who I think is going to be really our X factor this year. He was a former D1 goalie with Grand Valley back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was with that D2 national team, and then the D1 teams following after that. So he's our age,
He's broad,
aging out a little bit, but he's still got it. He's still got it.
He's broad and he's agile, man.
Yeah, really, yeah, exactly. He's a monster for sure. So I think he's going to be a really big X factor for us. We also picked up Russell Shingalette. He moved to the Grand Rapids area a little bit ago. But yeah, I've been playing with him in summer leagues and stuff, and he's going to be joining us for the full season. And then obviously some returning faces, Adam Ledger, myself, Steven Nisbet. We were all able to make the tournament, but we still got some returning faces, Ryan Peters, Keegan Hurley. We're even getting Keegan's brother on. We got Zach Hoover still, and I think we got one other guy that's going to be able to make it all tournaments. But again, rolling into the first weekend, we only had 4 guys. So I had to do something. I was able to pick up Christian Lawrence through a couple of my buddies to sub. He might be sticking with us through the season. We'll see. But
that'd be a heck of a pickup right there.
He is solid lockdown defenseman, man. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, I attribute maybe at least 50% of our goals against average that weekend to him, because he's just so solid. But we still only had 5 guys rolling into the weekend. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this again. So I emailed Carl. I said, hey, I need at least one or 2 subs just to give us a breather here. He had sent me Dustin Foran's information. I got in contact with Dustin, and he goes, hey, I got a couple buddies that want to play. Ran them by Carl. Carl gave us a thumbs up, and that was Sean and Bradley, who we come to find out are actually pretty good players here. So
you think?
they definitely help. But honestly, as much as dominant as they were, we kept Sean, Bradley, Christian, and Dustin all together on the same line to kind of, for chemistry purposes, really. Yeah, they dominated a lot out there, but at the same time, me, Steven, Adam, and Russell, I think we were positive on the weekend, to be honest. So even though their line was out there dominating, we went out there and dominated at the same time too. So I get the whole like, hey, you guys brought in ringers and stuff. It's like, you know what? You still didn't score on the 4 regular guys that are going to be on this team for the rest of the season. So
no, I was watching the games on the broadcast because I wasn't able to make it to the event.
I was
just blown away not only because of the sheer chemistry you all displayed, but the fact that you guys were able to just dominate as a unit. It wasn't one line was just,
right.
just scoring all the goals. You guys all put the puck in the net.
Exactly.
And that really showed in that championship game against the Columbus.
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Like watching you guys that last week, because I was there, and I literally said it, and it's kind of brutal to say this out loud. I'm saying it again for a different episode. I was taking game notes all Sunday because I was there Sunday, and that way I could like have my notes together for the last episode and everything. And I even told Ben in that literally when you guys went up 6-1, I was just like, I'm not taking any more game notes. Like, I'm not trying to be like, it's just being honest, man. They didn't have an answer for you guys. I mean, no one really did.
Right.
Like, you guys were just rolling, man.
Like you said, once we hit that 6-goal mark, it was just like they just gave up. And they were already talking. Everybody was already talking with the mindset, oh, these guys, they got ringers on their team. They're stacked level. It's like, honestly, we were solid through both lines evenly. And we played that way, and that was our mentality going forward, and we just dominated that way.
Well, you set up the chemistry right. You set up you kept the people who played together the most on the same lines, and then you had Chapman back there just locking in. And that's the thing that no one is talking about is like you guys still didn't score on him. Like that's the thing no one wants to say. Like blame the ringers all you want. You still didn't get it past the goalie, and it wasn't like these other teams didn't have attempts.
And the only goal that Columbus scored was on the power play. And it was my fault because I tried blocking the shot and I ended up screening the goalie. So I'll take the blame for that one for sure. But we just played a solid first half of the game until the other team just gave up, to be honest.
Oh, you guys wore them down. That's what you guys did. You guys had such good possession pretty much the whole time.
Did you guys dime them in the first period, or did you guys make it to the second period?
We were questioning this.
Because I don't think the score sheets are accurate.
We don't think it's right.
We made it to we started the third period.
Did you? I don't remember this.
Yeah.
I thought you had just dominated the whole first period, was up 8-1, and then I'm going,
no.
Yeah, because you guys were up 8-1 with like 2 minutes to go or a minute and a half, and I'm like, I would have called timeout if I was the coach and just try to see if you couldn't skip that last one in there.
Well, we I will say we were. I don't want to say we're sandbagging, but we were getting to the end of that second period, and we just built that huge lead, and we're going, okay, well, what's the mercy? And I actually skated past the ref, and I said, what's the mercy rule for the championship game? Because like I could tell the other team just wasn't in it at that point, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see what we can do. So we tried pouring it on there a little at the end of the second period. Weren't able to get it, and then we came out in the third period. Like, all right, let's just end this. So
yeah, it only took you like a minute and 23 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So got it done. But yeah, like again, I think the main reason we really won that game was because we just poured it all on in the first period. Just took their will out of the game for sure.
Oh, you definitely did, because like I was in the last episode, because I was talking to Heat and stuff, and they were all like giddy up, ready to go, and then like I said, it was the 6th goal. As soon as you guys got that 6th goal, it was just you watch the switch go off. Like, okay, well, this ain't our game. Like, and that happens. And like I said, you guys were just rolling the whole weekend. You guys just kept it going. Just kept it going.
Absolutely. Hey, I've definitely been on my fair share of those games myself. So
I've been when you're looking at the clock and you're like, oh my God, a second's gone by.
Let's just get this over with already. Absolutely. So
now,
I think,
how are you gonna keep the momentum going into the next tournament? Now that we're gonna have.
When is the next tournament you guys are going to? Is actually
our next tournament is, I believe it's in Taylor again, and I think it's the first tournament in the new year, January. So,
so you guys
got a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I wanted to make sure that was our mistake last year. Is we front loaded our schedule. We played 3 of our 4 tournaments before December last year.
Wow. Okay.
And so we only had 1 tournament in the second half, and I think it was like March, maybe February, and then championships in May. So it was like, yeah, we had no warm up to get to championships and all that. Right. So I really wanted to make sure we got a good schedule going into championships. So, get the first one in October out of the way. But yeah, we got January, and then in Taylor, February in Chicago, Salt Creek. And then I believe we have it's either March or April of Fort Wayne. So
okay. Probably be March. I think April is all championship weekends.
Right. Yeah. Either April or early May, something like that. But,
yeah, I think there's like 3 tournaments or something like that, like almost back to back.
Right. Yep. I really wanted to focus on making sure we had a smooth roll up going into championships. As far as the roster goes, yeah, you're gonna, like I said, myself, Adam, Russell, Steven, Keith is going to be Keith is committed for us for the whole year too. So he's not going anywhere.
Play some more action because I saw him when he just got done with his D1 championship. He kind of played with me for a little bit.
Yeah. Ever since then, honestly, that was the last real competitive roller hockey he had played before this year. He's been playing ice hockey and stuff. He's been playing a little bit of of our summer league roller hockey at Georgetown, Ice Arena, Griff's Georgetown out in Allendale. But that's just concrete floor and not a lot of competition. So this was his first real bounce back into highly competitive roller hockey, and it doesn't look like he's lost a step. So.
I was going to say, it looked like if your defense keeps playing the way that it was playing, I don't see you guys coughing up too many goals and he's making his job extremely easy.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, we'll have, we'll have Keegan back. We'll have Hoover back. We'll have Peters back. Again, we got a couple other additions. Maybe, like I said, if we can keep Christian going, that'd be even better. So. But yeah, we after talking with Carl after that tournament, Bradley, Sean, and Dustin, as much as I appreciated all their hard work and effort for us, they will not be allowed to be playing for us going forward, unfortunately.
Well, hey,
was there talk about bumping you guys up to T2?
No, because again, the guys that we had brought in were all subs pretty much anyway, so it really wasn't. I mean, I kind of agree. It wasn't a fair assessment of what our team is going to look like as in macro scale going forward. So even though I think we're still going to be very defensively solid, we're probably not going to have nearly the offensive output that we had that weekend. So I still think we're going to be a very competitive team. I think we're going to be a very strong defensive team. We're not going to be letting in a lot of goals this year, especially if we keep playing the way we played. Mm-hmm. Obviously, some of that's offensive puck control, but at the same time, we got a great goalie, we've got a great defense, and it's looking good for this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Keegan play again because I haven't seen him play since I played with him in 2015.
Yeah, he was able to make it to one tournament last year. Yeah, he was able to make it to one tournament last year. He has a very busy schedule with AA coaching. So, but he's going to make it to the rest of our tournaments this year.
Good, cool, awesome. Yeah.
So now this is your 4th season with the Growlers now, right?
It's 3rd or 4th, yeah.
I think this is the start of your 4th season.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Can't remember dates. Can't remember times.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's a good start to the season, and I'm really excited to get to the second half of the season at least start the new year.
Yeah. Started off strong, buddy. Looking forward to seeing it, to be honest.
Exactly. Now I just need to lose a little more weight.
I'm
going to have to carry a little more weight.
With Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas not too far behind.
Oh, man.
It ain't going to happen, buddy. It ain't going to happen.
Not looking forward to this. No. Yeah.
So I just wanted to give you some information, some tidbits information on
about
your
yourself.
Stats. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but so far, I know these aren't accurate because I know you've played more than 66 games. But since they have the new stat tracker system, you're only 8 points away from 100 points there, bud.
You're right there. Wow. You're right there.
Okay. So you played 66 games. You've got 53 goals. You got 39 assists with 26 penalty minutes. So you don't do too many PIMs, which is good.
When I do, I make them count. There's a 10 in there somewhere. There's got to be a 10 in there somewhere. I'll tell you this. A little story. I got a 1-game suspension when I was at Western because I got cross-checked in front of the net on the opposing team, and the guy stood over top of me, and the way I got cross-checked, I laid on my back, and my skate ended up being right by his stomach and chest, and he was coming down on me, and I pushed him back off of me with my skate. The ref saw that as me kicking him with my skate.
No.
Automatic. Actually, it was a 3-game suspension. So I learned my lesson back then, and I don't take too many penalty minutes anymore.
Yeah, that's a rough one too.
We got a couple more minutes left. We're gonna wrap this up, but again, we have 3 power play goals and 4 game-winning goals. So that's not too shabby there, bud.
It's looking nice there, bud. You're trying to get that big bag.
Yeah, right. Let me know what that bag is because I'm still waiting to find out.
I'll see if we can get you a Grove City hockey bathrobe.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, we're going to take this time to say thanks for stopping by, Jaron. We appreciate it. I'm Ben W. Stock. That's my tag team partner, Colin.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, dude, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. This was great.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All righty.
Cheers.
All right, guys.
All right, so the T3 championship came down to, as we talked about earlier, the Chicago Hitmen taking on the Indian Line. So we're going to see if Indian Line can do anything. Well, they did. They scored the very first goal of the game. And then after that, it was all Chicago Hitmen. And the Chicago Hitmen said, you know what? We're going to mercy you in the first period.
Insane.
Pure domination by the Chicago Hitmen.
That's insane. This is their second too.
Yeah. They won in Indy first tournament.
Was it Indy or Detroit?
No, I remember seeing the pinstripes, so it would have been
Indy.
Indy.
Yeah, Indy, because you weren't with us. That's right.
No, I wasn't with you in Detroit, but I was there. I was there in Indianapolis. That's for sure.
Yeah, that definitely Indy.
So,
definitely Indy.
Yeah. So we had Harrison Cole with 3 goals, 1 assist, and it was all the Hitmen after. Like I said, it was all Hitmen after that lone goal by the Indian Line. To recap, you've got Chicago Triple P winning your T4A bracket. Mm-hmm. You've got the Windy City Pigeons winning the championship in the T4B action, and then the Chicago Hitmen just taking the T3 title.
Might as well. That's insane. I mean, congrats to all the winners. I mean, all very well deserved. Like I said, Triple P, not surprised to see it. They have that stellar defense, great goaltending. Chicago Hitmen, they're living up to their name, and then got Windy City just tearing it up.
They really are. And the pinstripe, I think it's the pinstripes. Because once the Great Lakes Assassins left in, I think, 2015, there was no pinstripes. Mm-hmm. And so bringing them back, and I love it.
And they're very sexy kits.
They really are. So, well, that concludes this episode of Talking My House Chicago.